while someone else is speaking, just hit the go button.
Just go live and just see what happens. Yeah. So then they say something embarrassing.
Then you get Rob just talking about how hot his tea is or something.
The tea is hot.
Hold open.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I think we're live here. Welcome to the channel. I'm joined today by the illustrious Lloyd over at JarlDM. Say hi, Lloyd.
Hello.
And we are hanging out, and we're taking our robot sons on a play date here. So we're gonna. Lloyd is working on some Warhammer miniatures. He's working specifically on a big robot boy that he was showing me before we went live here. Look at that thing.
Large gentleman.
Large and most certainly in charge.
Indeed. Yep.
That's so cool looking.
Simply never focus.
I know.
It's impossible.
It'll autofocus at the time when you don't want it to.
Yeah, when I decide it's done.
Yep. Yeah. And I put up a poll on Twitter earlier today asking people what kit they might like to see me build. And it was split evenly between the Zaku 2 and I've got a G40 anniversary Gundam thing. But I'm going to split the vote here, and I'm going to vote for the Zaku. Because I haven't built a bad guy in a long time, and I want to build a bad guy mecha, so I'm going to go with the classic Zaku 2 here. This is the one from the Origin miniseries, so those kits are really, really fun to build, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to go ahead and flip my mic around here and hopefully not unplug it. But yeah, we're going to be hanging out, just chilling. So if you have any questions for us or anything you'd like to hear us talk about, go ahead and throw it up in the chat. I'll be watching the chat. And if you haven't yet checked it out, there is a link down in the description to the Mecha Hack Mission Manual Kickstarter. And if you don't know what it is, go ahead and just click the link. I am very tired of talking about it. I feel like I have not shut up about it for several weeks at this point, and so I'm taking a break from talking about it.
Comes a point where you're like, listen, if you want to buy it, then do it.
Yeah.
Stop hassling me about
Just
it.
please, yeah. I know some people, you get a Kickstarter and you just talk about it every day for a month, and it just gets so exhausting. Yeah. Well, and just like coming up with new stuff to talk about too. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. It's a mecha game. Go check it out. Just go look at it.
Especially if you're in any way integrated. I always get this like, I'm sorry to talk about a thing I made.
Yes, I know. I have to stop myself because I almost put like a disclaimer like, hey, feel free to unfollow me for the month if you want to. I'm going to be talking about this.
So earlier this week, I did some masking. And
oh, there you go.
So,
ooh.
Airbrush, and I got a nice little
look at that clean line.
No.
Very impressive. Damn. I really need to get into the airbrushing. I tried to do some hand painting on one of my kits a while back, and it did not go well. At that scale, it's just so messy, so...
I cannot conceive of having to paint this fucking guy by hand.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's so enormous.
Yeah. Oh, Lloyd is super quiet. Here, I'll turn Lloyd up. Oh man, Lloyd is super quiet. I don't wonder why that is. There we go.
Oh.
I had that boy cranked down. There we go.
Hello.
Got lots of people in the chat. Jason Smith. Nicole is here. Big Bearded Nerd. Adrian. Project Nexus. That's Nathaniel. Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hey gang.
All right, here's the opening stages here.
Oh, yeah. The opening salvo, the overture.
Yeah. This kit is really cool because it comes with a bunch of different weapons. It comes with a machine gun, a bazooka, an axe, a sniper rifle.
Ooh.
Lots of different. So I'll have to decide how I want to display this guy once I get him built. But he comes with a lot of lots of different cool stuff.
So these dudes, these knights have many weapons options.
Yeah.
But you gotta like glue their arms together, but you can like, so this guy has a little bit of pose, like it wiggles a little bit. That's on purpose.
A little bit of articulation.
Right. But you can also magnetize them, so then you can like pull them apart and
Oh god,
whatever.
that's so cool.
So then, because the different in the game of Warhammer, the different knights have different layouts and weapon options or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can decide on the day which one you're bringing, which is nice.
Man, that's cool. I had a hard time when I was building. I recently did some Age of Sigmar minis. I was building some Caradhran Overlords, and they have so many different cool weapons that you can attach to both them and their airships. And like building that airship, you have to decide between like a cannon and like a rotary gun, like a Gatling gun, and it was like I felt like it was Sophie's choice. I was like, I can't, like I want both. Can I have both? And so the idea of the magnets where you can like swap out as you please between matches, or you know, that's like a really cool idea. So
it's not that difficult once you get into it,
right?
But it can be pretty fiddly. Like this guy, the weapons are so heavy, and he's so heavy that you require like several magnets, big magnets.
Yeah, totally.
When the little dudes, you just need like one little tiny magnet.
Just one little guy, yeah. That's really neat. So this has it's like a flexible, I'm not sure what this is for. This has like a little flexible, pliable, like almost like a belt. I'm assuming that is going to fit into one of the guns, maybe. It looks like it's maybe like a belt-fed sort of ammo situation, yeah. And then I see, oh yeah, see, here's the sniper rifle right here. These are the two halves of the sniper rifle. Here and here.
I watched the first like 4 or 5 episodes of Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Right. And there's a sniper rifle that the dude uses at one stage, but he's a mech, and I was like, I would never have considered that he would have a sniper rifle. It was rad.
Yeah. Oh, I love, like, sniper mechs is one of my favorite variations because there's so many cool. There's a Gundam series called Gundam Unicorn, and it's like hit or miss for me. Like I like it generally, but there's definitely some like weird stuff in it. But there's this one really cool like massive battle where all these Zeon guys, the Zeon are like, they're the space Nazis of Gundam, and they've been like these little like pockets of them in hiding on Earth for like decades since the war ended. And there's this sequence where they all like activate, like they're like, all right, here we go, here's our last stand, like we're all gonna activate and hit the good guys all at once. And there's this sniper mech in this drop ship, and he's like hanging out the back of this drop ship, and he's just shooting this massive artillery cannon sniper rifle down at the good guys, and it's just so cool. I also wanted to talk today. Okay, so I've been hearing good things about glass files for plastic like this, because you always have to file down these little nubs and seam lines and stuff. And there's really expensive glass files you can buy specifically for model kits, or you can just get a glass nail file. And so I went and got, look at how pretty this is.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
This is $3. This is a $3 glass file specifically made for nails.
That looks like a weapon you would use in Shadowrun.
It does. It looks like
a vibro knife or something.
Yeah, exactly. It has that like little like gradient on it.
Yep.
So it's very futuristic looking.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be using that to sand down the nubs, and then I also am I'm gonna be using one of my favorite tools for plastic model kits, the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Nice. I hope that they sponsor me at some point, because I've used their products enough on streams at this point. But those are great for after sanding, if you end up with those gross sanding marks, scuffs and shit. Magic Eraser really helps. All right.
There's so much trim on this knight. It's frankly comical. It's the biggest Warhammer ever. It's like every panel shall have 6 details on it. All right, I get it.
I'm like, okay, great. I was surprised actually how, because I had never done Warhammer miniatures before, and when I was doing my Age of Sigmar stuff, I was really surprised at how similar the process was of putting them together to building a model kit like this, albeit at a smaller scale, but like the instructions were very similar. The process was very similar, where you're cutting them off the runners, you're sanding them down, gluing them together. Like if you want to do something about the seam lines, you can, sort of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I reckon at this stage they have like narrowed down on the least difficult way to show people how to do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
In the instructions.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they just are universal, I would say.
Yeah.
In most of the model making. Where do you hold these things? Like, you don't want to get stupid fingerprints all over your paint, right?
Oh God.
And but you got to hold it somehow. And
I have that problem. I'll be working on something and I'll be doing like detail work or like weathering or like panel lines or something, and I'll move my hand and realize that my big fat fingers have been dragging like paint all across the plastic, and it's just, oh God.
So like in this paint job, I have a white panel. I have this white
okay
panel.
Yeah,
and if I touch it at any stage, I will destroy the paint job and I'll weep.
You're just like yeah.
The thing is, all the colors that are very difficult to paint look really good. Like yellow looks great, white looks great, orange looks great, but they're hard to paint.
Yeah, they're so vibrant and beautiful, but they pick up any dust, dirt, other paint. D22 and D23. Okay. Go. So I was gonna ask you while we're hanging out here on stream. You put up a post in the AppTab group today about running like a Titans game, a Warhammer Titans game, using the Mecha hack, and like just how do you emulate that insane scale using something like the Mecha hack. And I thought that was a really good post. But a lot of people had some really, really good ideas about how to do it and how they would do it.
Mm-hmm. I think like the Mecha hack works really well at lots of scales, but there's something about when you get to a certain level of insanity.
Yes.
Where like a Warlord Titan's like 250 feet tall or something. Right. It just can't move quickly. It's not possible, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so it has to do like a it has to be that slow.
You can't imagine it running across a battlefield. No. Yeah.
So that's one of the things. It's like, how do you change that? And I guess you don't have to, because it's still all relative. The size different, the distances, right? It's all near, far, close, or whatever.
Right.
So you don't have to change anything. But there's something about the slowness of something so massive that like feeds into how powerful it feels.
Exactly. Yep.
It's like if the Death Star was just like pew, 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 like it wouldn't feel
right. If it was zooming around space. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. The danger egg, as they call them. Shut up and sit down.
Yes. We were talking about who was I talking with this about? Oh, I was on Midgardia's channel talking about Mission Manual, and we were talking about the Pacific Rim sequel that was not good. And I was mentioning that one of my biggest issues with that movie was that the mechs in that movie did not feel heavy. Like Pacific Rim, you know, for all of its silliness, really like the mechs feel so big. Like the way that they move, the way that they like fight is just, they're not like nimble, weightless, floaty things. They're huge, massive machines. And in the sequel, they're like flipping around, flying around, doing like kicks off of buildings and shit. And you're just like, I don't know. And that was one of my big issues with the new movie. And like, that's kind of what you're talking about, is like, how do you simulate the feel of like a punch that takes, you know, seconds to wind up and throw, but hits with the force of a train, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's hard because I think, watching Thing today, Evangelion, like the mech is running.
Yeah.
But it's clear that it's huge and that it takes a tremendous amount of power and effort for that to be happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, everything shakes and the mech is groaning when it moves and stuff. Like all that stuff is really well done. The sound design is excellent in that show, I think.
But, it's really good.
Yeah.
The other thing I love about Evangelion is that they really go out of their way to show like the not necessarily the casualties, but like the like the collateral damage of these huge machines, where like an EVA unit will just be running by and it'll stomp, and the shockwave from the stomp will flip over vehicles and shit and like shatter windows and buildings.
Break all the windows, yeah.
Yeah, and they do a really, really good job of just showing how that, at that scale, just how devastating just existing is.
Yeah, there was a scene early on where they're like standing outside the mech facility and they're loading bullets into the mech facility, and the bullets are like as big as cars, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like going up this ladder, and I was like, that's one bullet for the gun.
Yeah. That's I harp on this all the time, but there's this Gundam movie called Gundam F91, and there's this big extended battle where it's like inside a colony, so it's basically inside a big city, and the mechs are fighting, and you see it all from the vantage point of civilians, so they're all at ground level, so you see the mechs will just fly by, land, and then their thrusters will go and they'll take off, and the thrusters will like throw cars around, and the cars will like hit buildings with like people in them and stuff. Yeah. And at one point, this mobile suit lands and it's firing off these big cannons, and a shell casing comes flying out and it hits a person and they die because the shell casing is the size of a car.
Yeah, yep.
And you just don't think about like, okay, here's this, 20-story tall machine firing a machine gun, and the spent shell casings are large enough to kill a human.
Right.
Yeah, it's just great.
They have to like power down all of Japan to fire the gun it has.
Yeah, yes.
It's like incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I
turn
love
off
it.
all the lights in Japan, and
yes.
like there's like a 4-minute charge up period for him to fire a shot from the gun.
Yes.
That's perfect. That's great,
Yeah,
that feels correct. The scale really feels significant in that show, at least in Evangelion.
Yeah, no, for sure. That definitely one of the best like representations of that, and really getting that feel across. Actually, didn't really think about this, but you watching Evangelion would probably give you like a lot of fodder for a Titans game.
Yeah, yep. Big time.
I like the glass vial. This is really nice.
Nice.
It's like got significant grit to it, but it's not leaving like the same crappy scuff marks that a metal vial would.
And it wouldn't be so bendy either, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, it's like very nice and rigid. It feels good in the hand, so I like the color. This nice little like pink color.
Yeah, I'm such a fan of that.
Yeah. I know, I ordered it online for pickup. I just went to the store and picked it up. It's so funny. The guy comes out to my car to drop off my stuff, and he goes, nail files and magic erasers? And I go, that's me. Like, yep, you found me. Okay, so I need this guy, and I need 2 of these guys. Wait, where do you fit in? Wait, where do you go? Oh, right there. Perfect.
So I was thinking about, because the Titan is so big, a Warlord Titan, it's got like a crew of people who pilot it.
Yeah, it's like multiple people, right?
Right. One dude is like brained directly into it.
Okay.
And like becomes the Titan, sort of.
Yeah, it's very Warhammer.
Yes. Yep. And they become addicted to it because like you are a god. And then,
that's
and then
cool.
you take it off, and then you're not a god, and so they become addicted to it.
That's cool.
So that's the Princeps. But then there's also like 4 or 5 other people who are in there. Like one of them is one arm because it's so massive. That one of them's like, I'm the arm,
Right. Like a Voltron sort of situation.
Has to give the command for like the Plasma Annihilator, Destructor, whatever it's called, to like activate,
Right, yeah. Man, that's cool.
It would be, I was thinking about how you might do that, like, because I've thought before about using capital ships with Mecha Hack as well.
Yeah, yep.
Where you're like all on the same ship and you're doing sort of
like
different jobs, but
yeah,
still have actions or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about having like to fire a big ass gun, that would take minutes to power up probably. Like it would take like 4 attacks to fire the gun, but when it fires it's like 400 damage or something.
Yeah, just 800 damage.
Yeah, did you say 800 damage? So you're building up and working on it or whatever, but
right.
Yeah,
that's I always struggle with how to do like crews. Just like multiple people, because I even doing like a Pacific Rim game where you have 2 people in each mech or whatever, like it's tough to do that and have everybody feel like they're contributing in a meaningful way.
Yes, for sure.
Hey, Tamiko.
Yo.
We got Never Say Dice, and Aquibian is here as well. Hey, everybody.
Quibi and his big nerd Connor Davies.
Oh.
Known dweebus. on the run, still at large. Dweebus. Okay, so I have to say, so most Zaku kits are like this like bright green color. This Zaku kit has like a nice like forest like army green, and it looks real slick. So I'm excited to put this thing together. I need B? Yeah, B1. Oh, geez. Oh, another thing I was going to ask you about. Do you ever do work on the, like, seam lines or the, what are they called? Mold lines?
Yeah, the mold lines on Warhammer minis.
It depends on the... Yes, basically. But the amount of work I put into it will depend on the mini.
Totally.
So for this guy, I spent, like, hours doing it because he's like a centerpiece model on his own.
Right.
And in the army, he'll be one of 3 models, right? Probably.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to my Space Marines where there'll be like 70 of them or something,
Right, so it matters a little bit less. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would do it for characters and stuff, like who are going to draw the eye a lot, but for like, Space Marine 28 with bolt rifle, like it's not that key.
Right, featuring bolt rifle, yeah.
Yeah. It's not that key, but yeah, I would always try to remove mold lines when I can, at least. But then sometimes you get like the barely noticeable ones, and if I miss it the first time around and then I've like put down the primer, I'm like, just whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah,
I struggle a lot with because Gundam kits they'll get these because they're big, they're at this scale where this stuff like that is really super noticeable. So I'm trying, now that I say it, I'm trying to find one on here. But like, okay, so like the back of the foot here, you can see that there are 2 halves, 2 pieces that came together, and they left this like line here, which is like pretty noticeable. Oh, it was in focus and then it went out of focus. But people have all kinds of techniques for what they do for that, and one of the things they'll do is they'll actually take extra pieces of the same colored plastic, either like off the runner or extra pieces, and they'll leave them overnight in a bottle of plastic cement and let the plastic completely dissolve in the cement, and it becomes like a paste that you can fill those gaps with. And I think that is so clever, and I just have never, I don't know, I just don't have the gumption to do that. It's like, it's a lot of work.
I have what is it? This milliput stuff, which is like,
oh yeah,
just like a epoxy. So if it's really bad and there's a noticeable line, I'll put that in. You can also just like, if you sand it and then you use the cement, plastic cement, it'll just melt the filings from the sanding into the gap, which can work as well.
That is what I usually end up doing, is just doing like a little bit of cement, because the cement it melts the plastic. It creates a fusion, so I will do that, and that does help. But sometimes the seam lines are just super gnarly where the pieces meet.
Right.
I need polycap 8.
It'll also depend where it is on the model. Like if it's on the dude's face, then you have to do something about it. You know,
Totally, exactly.
But if it's his back thigh, it's like, well, nobody's
yeah,
looking.
exactly. Like this guy, it was like it's the back of his foot. I'm never gonna look at
Yeah.
the back of this gun cannon's foot, so I'm
Yeah.
okay with the seam line being there. Okay, B15 and B117, and then D21 and PC8. D21. That was another thing, is that coming into doing Warhammer minis, I like had everything I needed to work on them. I had, the side cutters for getting the pieces off the runners. I had cement for putting the pieces together. I had sanding tools and everything. So it was actually like really nice to literally just buy the model kits and have everything I needed to work on them from my my Gunpla stuff. So
it's like one of the more expensive things about Warhammer is getting into it. You have to buy like a whole workshop of stuff.
yeah, totally.
You know? Like,
Yep.
You got to get paint, you got to get brushes, you got to get like a palette, and you got to
Yep.
get all these tools, and you got to get all this glue. And
You're gonna want a mat to work on, and then
Yep.
you're like, well, I gotta get like some sort of like shelving unit to keep all this stuff in, and then all of a sudden half your house is devoted
Yep.
to it. It can happen to you too.
Why would they put this much trim on the armor? Like, the armor plates are made of like ceramite or something, right? Some
Right.
cement thing.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like steel cement. It's gonna be better than this like gold trim that they put on everything.
Right.
Like,
Like, come on, guys.
I know it's the future and Gothic is the look.
It's
but
not just the future. It's the grim future of
Yeah.
the 41st millennium.
grim darkness of the 41st millennium.
There is only war. I came into the Warhammer universe from a very interesting spot. I used to play the Dawn of War
So
PC
good.
game back in
Yes.
the day, the original Dawn of War when it was like RTS, and absolutely loved that game. Completely fell in love with like all of the factions and learned a ton about like the lore and stuff, and then like ended up like reading a bunch of the books and spending way too many like hours on the what's it called, the lexicanum, or the,
Yeah.
what is the,
Yep.
the big wiki of all the Warhammer stuff, and like
Yep.
I don't know, like I had never actually picked up a role, either any of the role-playing games or any of the miniatures games, but there's so many like inlets into the Warhammer universe that you can really get
Yeah.
into it, from many different angles, which is cool.
I think Games Workshop used to be really bad at that.
Yeah.
Because unless I'm into it because I live in Ireland and we have shops here, right? Games
Right.
Workshop shops.
Yep.
And you would walk by them when you were a small child and you'd be like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing
What
I've ever
is
seen. I
that?
need
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But I think in recent years, like past 10 years, I guess, Games Workshop just went, let's make 500 computer games.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah.
And it's just like a scattershot approach where they'll just like make everything and only one has to be a hit. You know?
Right. And some of them are really good, and some of them are like not good.
Yes, many of them are not good.
Because there's like 50,000 Warhammer mobile games on the App
Yes.
Store, and many of them are not very good.
Yep. But you get like the occasional hit, like the Warhammer Total War is incredible. It's so good.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Dawn of War is so good.
Yeah. I will still boot up Dawn of War every now and again and play it. It's just one of the best RTS games. It's one of the first RTS games to really capture the do a good job of the capture point style, where you're not mining resources, you're capturing territory, and it just has this really unique like active feel where you're not sitting there watching workers mine Vespene gas or whatever. And as much as I love like StarCraft, like you spend a lot of time babysitting your little dudes who are mining.
Yes. The economy is important,
War,
but it's not as important. It's more about the fighting and the
And I love like the customizing the squads too, where you can like give the dudes different
weapon
weapons.
loadouts.
And, yeah. So that was a cool thing that like it is obviously a holdover from the tabletop game where you're like, oh, I want one Space Marine in this squad to have a plasma gun, you know, or whatever, grenade launcher.
Actually, Space Marines can't have grenade launchers.
Oh, you're right. Well, bolters are essentially grenade launchers, I guess. They're
yes,
miniature
machine grenade launchers.
Machine grenade launchers. I had a friend in college.
For a second there, I think you thought I was serious with my actually, and there was a great moment where you were like, "Did he just really do that?"
But Space Marines can't use grenade launchers in the 4th edition of the rules. There's actually a little bit of customization that happens with these Gundam model kits as well, where you can pick different pieces to put on the kit, and they come with different ones. So like there are two different chest pieces here. There's like it's gonna be hard to see it because they're both like jet black, but one of them has like a armored chest piece, and the other one is like has a little almost like a little light, like sensor light at the top, and you can actually see the door where the cockpit opens up and stuff, and so it just kind of gives it like a different look, which is really neat.
Nice.
I like having options. I like making decisions while you're building something.
Yep.
That's what I enjoyed most about doing Warhammer.
The conversion of Warhammer is one of my favorite parts. Like,
yes,
in that you can turn your dude into anything if you have bits and pieces lying around.
Right, yeah.
So I bought, like, when I was getting back into Warhammer the most recent time, I really liked Age of Sigmar because the models are gorgeous, and I bought a bunch of the Stormcast Eternals.
Yeah.
And then I got into playing 40k, and I was like, well, I don't really want these Stormcast Eternals, and I just turned them into Space Marines.
That's so killer, yeah.
Chop bits off and move bits and whatever, and now they're Space Marines. It's like, oh yeah, it's so
that's
great.
So cool. Yeah, that's something I definitely want to, because I really enjoy kit bashing with Gundam kits, and that's something that I would love to try with Warhammers. Kit bashing. It's cool too because they actually they'll include like ideas for kit bashing in some of the manuals and stuff. Like I bought the Karadran Overlord's like source book thing, and in it they're like, hey, if you do this with this piece and put it on this guy, it'll look like a hammer instead of a banner. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Ooh. Nice.
So they're actually like, I will hand it to Games Workshop that they actually like they clue into what people do with their models, I think, pretty well.
Yep. Like the bits, depending on the kit, but like most things you buy for Warhammer come with many extra bits that you don't need.
Yeah. And then
like
you get to
so
make a
many
bits
bits
box.
you don't need. Right, and then you have I have several boxes just full of bits.
Yeah.
Extra arms and stuff. Like the Tyranids especially, like I bought where is he going? A Tyrannofex.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Here he is. He's not fully constructed yet, but he's like a big
Ooh, look at that boy.
Gross bug guy.
Oh, I love those, like the front limbs are really cool.
Yep. So he actually has this enormous cannon that's going to go in his hand.
Oh my god.
Over here somewhere, whatever. So, big scary alien boy, but he comes with like 12 different weapon options.
Right.
And so I have this giant cannon, but also like 4 additional giant cannons and 7 close combat options for this giant monster.
Holy shit.
Which is pretty nuts.
And really, you can never have too many giant cannons in your bits
You
box.
you can never run out of them, you know?
Yeah.
Not a day goes by where I'm like, man, I wish I had a giant cannon.
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, I have a similar bits box for my Gunpla because, like I said, like this Zaku comes with 5. It comes with a bazooka, a sniper rifle, a machine gun, an axe, and like I can only have him holding one of those weapons. So those other weapons, they're pieces that'll go in a bits box, and someday in a year I'll be building a kit, and I'll go, you know what this guy needs? A big freaking sniper rifle, and I'll have it sitting there ready to go. Looks like I'm building the front of the chest now.
I've been seeing a lot of Keel of late. We've been working on a thing for Nano. No, it's not Nano.
Naga.
It's Naga Demon.
Naga Demon, which is okay. It's way cooler than NaNoWriMo, that's for sure.
But I yesterday had 3 different hangs with Keel. I was like, man,
oh wow, yeah,
we should just live in the same house.
Right. It's like I feel like that with Barker sometimes, where we both work from home and we live in similar time zones, so we won't even be working on the same thing, and we'll just get in a Zoom to kind of simulate an office building environment where we will be working in the same space and can occasionally talk to each other. So
it's amazing how my productivity goes up when there's one other human present.
Any more than that, it's too much.
Yes.
If you get literally one other person in a Zoom with you, it turns into a chat Zoom instead of a work Zoom somehow.
But it's I feel this big, okay, well, this is the situation. There's one other person here, and if they see you not working, you'll be in trouble.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So then I just work my ass off if there's another person there.
Yeah. God, I just relate to that so much. That's literally I love works because I've worked from home for a long time, and it definitely it's lonely when you're just sitting in your office. And don't get me wrong, I love it and I much prefer it to working in an office, but there are times when I'm I wish that I had someone that I could just roll my chair over and have a conversation with for 5 minutes.
Yes. Yep. Or go for a vape with, or whatever it is.
Yep.
Exactly. Take a break.
Now, granted, if I still worked in an office, I would be the curmudgeon who never talked to anybody and ate lunch in his car,
too.
like I always have been. But I like to have the option, you know?
Yeah. I had a meeting at my job today, a one-to-one check-in for my career.
Oh yeah, those are always fun.
And I don't know how to tell the guy, but I don't want to work here, you know? You don't have to pretend, and you don't have to make me pretend.
Right.
So
the dreaded where do you see yourself in 5 years sort of thing.
Yes, out of this job, thank you.
Yeah, you're not here.
But he got in and he was like, oh, so we're pretty happy with your performance overall, which is a miracle because I literally watch TV all day. And then was like, is there any sort of questions you have or anything? And I was like, nope. And he was like, okay, do you mind if we finish it early? I was like, that's fine with me. Thank God for that.
You're not only do I not mind, I prefer it greatly.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop when one day they're like, wait a second, you haven't done any work in 6 months.
Oh man. Yeah. Man, see, I don't have that. I have zero accountability besides my own brain, which is more accountability than I need. So
sure.
I don't know, I make do. It's funny because my wife just started working from home this year, and she's just constantly like, I don't know how you do this.
I find it way easier, honestly.
I do too. Yeah.
The hardest part of working in an office for me was having to commute.
Yeah. Oh God. Yep.
It's waking up and being able to be at work immediately. Spectacular.
It's really nice. Yeah.
And especially I live in Ireland, and in the winter it's just so miserable here. And if you work, then you're getting up when it's dark, traveling to work, and then getting home when it's dark.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You know, it's really unpleasant.
Yeah. Not having a commute is definitely one of my favorite parts about working from home, for sure. Yeah. It's nice too because I used to work at home and I would work in my room, which is that's fine, but there's something about working in the same space where you sleep that kind of ruins it for both. But I have an office now. I have my own space where it's this is where work happens, and I definitely enjoy that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot figure out how this piece fits into the other piece. I'm having a hell of a time with it. Oh, I just figured it out. As I was complaining about it, I figured it out. Doctus Gaming, since when has Matt started doing Gunpla? So I have always done Gunpla. I took a break for many years because I just didn't have the time or the space in order to do it. But I got back into it pretty much as soon as quarantine started because I was looking for an excuse to start doing it again anyway. So
Yeah. Apparently Games Workshop, and I imagine Gunpla too, and many other like hand-based hobbies have just skyrocketed.
Exploded. Yeah, totally. That's every, like, there's not really big places that you can buy Gunpla from. It's all these, like, you know, dudes with like 1,000 kits in their attic selling it on a website somewhere. And every single person I buy from has been like, sorry for the delay, like, we're just super swamped, we've never sold these many, like, we're having to order more. And so that's certainly cool to see that people are finding ways to spend their time.
Yeah. For me, this is, I mean, the Warhammer is just so satisfying. Like, it's as a hobby compared to, like, I really love playing video games, but there's something, this feels productive in a way that video games don't, you know?
It's tangible. It's like, you hold it in your hand and it sits in your room, and it exists when you're done with it, which is, like, a video game is hard to, video games are like, what's the word, ephemeral. Like, they only exist while you're playing them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I really don't want to break this piece. Oh, I got another nifty tool. This is ridiculous. This is literally for separating parts that you don't want to put together. So it is like a little wedge that you can put in between the parts, and it has a nice wide blade, so it distributes the force across the plastic, so you can
because they snap fit apart.
Yeah, they're snap fit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you put a piece together, and let's say that you put it together and it's a little too tight, and you want to take it apart so you can airbrush it or something, then you use that. I got it because I'm a dumbass and I constantly put pieces together that don't fit together. And I break them and
just jamming them together like you'll fit if I say you'll fit.
You will fit.
We're getting some progress here with gold.
Ooh, look at that.
Slowly but surely approaching.
Yeah.
So I've gone for purple and white for my color scheme, which is regal.
I was gonna say that's very like noble, regal kind of feeling. That's cool.
He will be mostly brown by the end because my intent is to. I bought some oil paints, which are on the way.
Yeah.
And some mineral spirits, and I'm going to airbrush some burnt umber on the whole thing, which is very scary. I've never done it before. And then I'm going to use like cotton swabs and mineral spirits to pull it away from all the places where I don't want it.
To do like some weathering on it?
Yes. Yep.
Very cool.
So we'll see how that goes. I might ruin the whole thing and have to start over, but paint bravely, they say.
Yeah. That's I love doing weathering. I have these ridiculous, they're like makeup palettes. They look like this.
Oh, cool. The pigments?
Yeah, and they're literally, you open it up and they're literally like like little makeup palettes, and you can dust them on this little brush, and then you just do like a matte sealer over the top, and it puts it in place, and you get a really, really nice weathering effect. So
that's cool. I bought some
this guy.
Pastels. Oh yes.
So he's got.
He looks
some
like he's been through it.
Yeah, this guy, like, you can tell he's been in a battle.
Yep. I bought some chalk pastels, and you can just crush those.
Oh,
and they become weathering powder.
Right. Man, I didn't even think about that. That's really smart.
I saw it on YouTube and copied the idea.
I saw it on YouTube. That's literally everything I do.
Everything, yep.
I saw on YouTube the other day how to make a really nice thickener for a gravy, and I'm going to try with our Thanksgiving meal tomorrow. Saw it on YouTube.
Nice. I watch a huge amount of cooking shows on YouTube. Probably my most watched content is cooking shows.
Yeah. What's your favorite cooking show?
I am such a fan of You Suck at Cooking.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But it's one video every couple of months, I guess, but they're so great. Every single time he says like undo on 4 fundo, like 4:30 fundo or whatever, absolutely gets me every single time. I enjoy Babish, especially now that Sola is over there.
Yes, Babish is great.
Yep. I'm so pleased that Sola got a nice job after the weird stuff with Bon Appetit.
Yeah, all of that shit was just
gross.
Real gross, yeah.
I like Josh Weissman.
Yep, he's great.
He's fun. What's his name? Kenji Lopez is great.
I love Kenji Lopez. I love how he just like talks about cool restaurants that he's been to while he's cooking. Yeah. Like he's always like, there's this place called Del Tino's on 5th, and I think it's Broadway, and he just like like I'm gonna get up and go to New York and go to this like little like place in New York that he's talking about. But I just love that he just gets so into it. Ooh, I get to choose from 2 different backpacks.
Oh, nice.
So I did this is the chest torso.
Okay.
And one of the best things I love about this line, the Origins line, is they put articulation in the chest so that the arms can move closer together. So it kind of simulates almost like pectoral muscles a little bit.
Yep.
Which is so smart.
One of the nightmares of painting Space Marines with guns is they hold their guns right here, so you can't paint any part of their chest, or you glue the guns on.
I learned that the hard way with my Kharadron Overlords.
Right, and the arms only connect in a very specific way often, you know?
Yeah.
And so then you can't really put the arms together without putting them on the body. It's a whole fucking thing, you know?
Yep. I had this this moment where I'm like, all right, my Overlords are all put together, and now I just need to paint them. And I get them primed, and then I get my paintbrush, I get my palette, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna paint their chests. That huge gun, because the Kharadron Overlords have these big Aether shot rifles that are like half the size of them.
Right.
And I like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Figure it out. I'm gonna use a very small brush. Okay, so there's 2 different backpacks, B29 and B218. Hey, Mini Terrain Domain, Jake is here. How's it going?
Hello there.
DJ Hester showed up as well. Pretty good crowd tonight. Hello. I guess it is. It's we're on the eve of a holiday weekend for us here in the States.
You got Turkey Day.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
Yep. Thanksgiving. Super excited for all of the dumb assholes to travel to their family and cause another COVID spike. That's gonna be great.
Yep.
I called someone on Facebook today an absolute doorknob for going to their Thanksgiving with their family.
Yep, that's fair.
Yep.
Like, listen, everyone wants to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be at home.
They act like, you know? My family's too important. And it's like, okay, well, maybe don't, like, expose them to this virus that's happening right now.
Yep. Everybody wants to go and do things.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be at home anymore.
Exactly. It's like, we're not enjoying this, Linda.
I'm a person who really doesn't like leaving the house unless I absolutely have to, and even I want to go outside.
Exactly, yeah.
But I don't, because I'm a responsible citizen.
Exactly. It's almost like, it's just so funny, because they're always like, I'm not going to be told what to do, and it's like, okay, yeah, do you not stop at stop signs, or obey traffic laws either, or wear your seatbelt? Like, come on, it's for your own good. People have an inflated sense of importance, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, so the 2 different backpacks, one of them is a little bit more like thrustery, and the other one is a little bit more like blocky looking.
Yep.
I like both of them, but I think I'm going to go with the blocky looking one, because I think it looks better with the chest that I picked, which is a little bit blockier, so that's what we're going to go with. And this will go in the bits box and probably end up on another bottle.
Hey, there's a lot of trim on this gosh darn thing.
How do you deal with that? Do you just do you mask it off? Do you just navigate very carefully around it?
I just navigate it very carefully, yeah. So I painted all the panels first, to the point where I'm happy with them, and then I'm going to paint the trim.
Okay, yeah.
But, good God. It'll all be fine because when you weather it down, any little mistakes sort of vanish anyway.
That is the magic of weathering, yeah.
Yeah. You can hide a lot of the crimes that you commit.
Yeah, people swear by Nuln oil because as a wash, it just covers up all of your mistakes.
Liquid skill, they call it.
Yeah, that's funny. Liquid skill. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, Nuln oil is great. The Army Painter Strong Tone is great.
Yep, that's what I have.
Yep. Same kind of deal.
Yep. That's the trick with Gunpla is this stuff.
Ooh.
Or any sort of matte sealer, because what it does is I like this one because it says my name on it, which is so stupid.
That's your one.
Yeah, that's mine. They made this for me. They're like, hey, make sure you ship this to the hobby shop in Tacoma for Matt. It'll fill in any sort of scuffs or scrapes or weird little seam lines or anything like that, and just make everything look a little bit more complete and less plasticky, which is nice. So these two pieces fit together and form the back of the backpack, I think. Yeah, the part that fits onto the back. Oh, I see. Like so.
Let's throw this on here for a second.
What is this music that's playing right now? So I'm listening to this 24/7 chill wave, synth wave, royalty free
classic. Yeah.
But the music that's playing right now is just horrendous. So I think we're gonna switch over here to synth arcade radio. There we go.
So this is the sitch at the moment.
Ooh,
a little bit of
that
trim.
Purple looks so good.
Looking pretty nice, I think.
Yeah. Oh man, that's killer.
The trim is still messy. I think I have to do another layer of it.
I love the little guardrail along the top. That's just so tasty.
That's where he gets in.
Yeah.
The door and everything.
Yep.
Yep. The other panel for the other shoulder, I have blocked off into white and purple, and I'm hoping to. There's tons of decals that come with this thing. These boys that you can put all over the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just cover them in stuff before I do the weathering, and then go to town.
What kind of decals are those?
They're water slide.
Water slide.
Yeah.
I love me some water slide decals.
Super nice. Yeah.
Yep. They're super finicky to work with when you first start working with them. I feel like once you get a hang of it, it's they look so nice.
They look great, and I have this combo of things called Microsol and Microset, which are designed for these, where the Microset helps softens it or makes it easier to get in place, basically. Almost exactly like this, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I just have a different company version, but yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. It's that makes a huge difference. There's the stuff that you put on before, and then the stuff you put on after, basically.
Right. Yep.
And the nice thing about water slides is they will adhere to even curved pieces and look like they're part of the kit. They look so nice.
I think you can add a lot to especially with something like this, which is meant to be an ancient machine, by putting on a decal and then weathering on top of it and chipping it and whatever, so that it looks like it's been there forever,
Right, yeah.
That sells the effect, I think, in a big way.
Totally. Ooh, yeah, chipping away at the decals, that's something I hadn't really considered doing. That actually kind of happened on accident with this guy here. This decal right here, oh God, every time it just goes right out of focus. I'm like, okay, can you focus on the thing that's directly in front? Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
This decal right here got a little bit of weathering on it, and at first I was like, oh no. But then it ended up looking really good because it looked like it had been kind of chipped away with the rest of the metal on the kit. So it ended up looking really neat.
So if I put like a decal on the purple up here, I'll take the same purple and paint on the decal to give it the impression like it's been ripped apart or whatever.
Yeah.
Which looks real nice in the end.
That is really smart. I might have to try that myself. Adrian, I use OBS. I swear by OBS. I was a long-time XSplit user, and I will never go back. OBS is really nice, and they update it regularly with new features and keep it working really nicely. So I've had very, very few issues with OBS. I had constant issues with XSplit.
Yes.
Eating up too much RAM and just like being a processor hog. Tamiko's like squeamish about me using an X-Acto knife on stream. I have cut myself before with this X-Acto knife.
Oh yeah, I've sliced my hand open more than once as well.
Yeah.
Blood for the blood god.
If you get blood on a kid, it just makes it more powerful.
Makes it fight better, yep.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Hey, Jeremy.
Oh, hello there.
Dude, Jeremy, we need to get you in here, man.
Yeah.
You want to come in and build some guys?
You want to play guys?
You want to come in and make some robots with us? One thing that every Gundam kit has is they have these. Let's see if I can find them. Where are they? They're called Vernier thrusters, and they're these little thrusters that you put all over the Gundam, and they're designed to, move the Gundam around in space, or if they fall backwards, the Vernier thrusters fire to pick them back up and stuff like that. But they're so common and so universal on the kits that you can actually buy packs of metal Vernier thrusters and replace the plastic Vernier thrusters with metal ones. And I kind of want to do that at some point. I feel like it would look really neat to have metal pieces on a plastic kit.
Mm-hmm. You'd have to get out the dreaded super glue for that one.
Yep. Okay. I'm not using this backpack, but I'm going to go ahead and just trim the runners off of it anyway, because I'll probably use it for something at some point. There we go.
Alright, so I'm working on a plasma glow for this ridiculous gun.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, camera. I believe in you, pal. If I hide my eyes, I would do it. I could do it. Oh. It's here. It's right here. It's right here.
I can almost see it. Oh.
Obey me.
Oh,
hey.
There it goes. Oh, dude, that looks really nice.
So the hope is, so it's still pretty messy right now, but I'm gonna paint the radiator bits like white and then layer on blue on top of it.
Oh, to give it kind of a glow effect.
Glowy look.
That's very neat.
That's my plan.
I've seen a lot of people do glow effects, and I'm always very jealous of how they turn out looking. I know if I tried it, it would just look like absolute garbage.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to get right. It's like many things, much easier with an airbrush.
Yep.
Because you can literally just go, okay.
It's done. It looks like glow, yeah.
Yeah, because it naturally just like mimics the way light would work, which is very handy. But yeah, it can be a real pain in the ass to do with a brush.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be the case. I also see like I am on a lot of like miniature subreddits and stuff where people do like fantasy miniatures. Yeah. And I keep seeing ones where they will do like a flame tongue weapon or something like that, where like they'll make the weapon look like it's glowing or like wreathed in flame, and it always looks so neat. My favorite are if you do like a Necron and you make their like Gauss weapon look like it's glowing.
Yep.
Always looks so neat.
Yep. The Necrons are incredible models, I think, like design-wise.
They really are. The new ones that they're coming out with this year are like
so
God,
rad.
it's just some of the coolest models I've ever seen.
They have those like sick blades with all the like inlaid bits, like tech bits. They look so great.
If I ever get into 40k, which I mean it's only a matter of time,
realistically,
I will absolutely play Necrons because those were my boys in Dawn of War too. I played so much Necrons. Oh my god.
I was the kind of cheap piece of shit that would play the Tau in Dawn of War.
See, the Tau were they were
overpowered.
So good. They were so good.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the Tau were fun. I liked the Tau because they had anime mechs.
Yep. Anime mechs and dinosaurs.
Yes, you're like, you can't go wrong.
Yep. Plus, they're the space communists, so that's my whole vibe.
Exactly. You're like, listen, if it's pretty rare that there's a culture in Warhammer that you're like, I probably wouldn't mind living there.
I would choose there over the Imperium just 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
No question.
No questions. The Imperium of Man would just be the worst to live in.
It would suck ass. Yep, in the worst possible way.
Yep.
It's like one of the things in Dark Heresy I remember reading where it's like, if a person who's not in the Inquisition sees a psychic event happen, like sees your psyker cast a spell, they have to die. Like, because
right.
There is no such thing as psychic powers, and the people aren't allowed to know that. So if you like cause an event in a public place and people see magic go down, then you have to like deal with all of them.
Oh god, you just have to like glass the planet.
Right.
God, that's awful.
Nuke it from orbit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. That's
just the worst place.
Yep. There we go. All right, so here are my little Vernier thrusters, and they actually have a little bit of articulation too.
Oh, sick! I like that.
Isn't that cool? So just like in Gundam shows, it'll always do a close up of the Vernier thrusters, and they'll be swiveling around and doing little thrusts to maneuver around in space and shit.
I like that.
So there's the backpack. We can go ahead and put the backpack on. He's got his lunch. He's ready to go to school.
Go to mech school.
Yep. There we go. Yeah, object source lighting. Something I envy so hard, OSL. Jeremy says. Yeah.
Yep, it's very difficult with a brush. It's difficult with an airbrush. It's nearly impossible with a normal brush, unless you're very good, I think.
I can only imagine.
Oh, I got some gold on my light. Oh, God.
Oh, Jeremy asks, what is the tool near the bottom of my screen with the blue handle? This guy right here, I was just talking about this before you came on. This is my this is a parts separator. So let's say, I put this backpack on and I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't want to do that yet. You just fit that in and you can really easily kind of shimmy it off. And because it's not got a nice wide blade, it makes it so that you kind of distribute the force in a wider movement, so you're not snapping plastic off and breaking shit, which I constantly do when I'm trying to take kits apart. So it's really good if you accidentally put pieces together, but it's also really good if a lot of people will build the kits, see what they look like, and then they'll want to take it apart, mask stuff off, and do airbrushing. So it's really nice to just like boop, pop pieces off and do painting on them. So looks like next up we're doing the tubing. So there's like Zaku's always have a bunch of tubing on them to give the more bad guy feel. So it looks like the tubes connect here, and then they'll come forward and connect. There'll be a piece right here that will fit them into place. So the tubes are always really finicky. You kind of have to like cut certain parts of the tubing so that they're flexible, but you can't cut all the way through or they will be broken. So let's see, C3 and C2. It's A. You C? No, you're F. Where is C? I demand to know. Oh, here it is.
Bring him to me.
Look at this. This is just the tubing. This is all the tubing.
Oh, wow.
So there's a specific runner for the tubing. So this is there's leg tubing. This is the torso tubing. And then it has like the Zaku's have this gas mask kind of look. So they have tubing that goes around the head as well. So. So we need these two guys for now. There we go. So if I may ask, what have you and Keel been working on for Nagademon?
We're making a Powered by the Apocalypse game.
That's right.
Called Blood and Ink, which came from the idea that people don't know how to do intrigue in their games.
Yep.
But kind of want to.
Yeah, it's like everybody wants to kind of have that Game of Thrones Dune sort of feel, but it's hard to pull off. Yeah.
It's hard to pull off if you're not practiced in it, in how to do schemes and how to all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. And it's hard to improvise, which you kind of have to. You have to improvise character dialogue, which is difficult. You have to improvise the kind of questions that you ask or whatever. So we were today working on the intrigue move, which is you've got one which is like read a person, and so the idea would be like you roll your dice and then you get a bunch of prompts like asking that you can ask about the question about the person you're talking to, like what's their tell when they're lying, or how do I, like, what do they want most, or what are they afraid of, or whatever, things like that. Just to guide you sort of in the direction of what you should be doing, what kind of questions you should be asking, that kind of thing, because in-character dialogue is very difficult for people.
It is, yeah. I feel like Powered by the Apocalypse is a perfect tool set for that, because it does have, it's so kind of gamey, but it has really cool narrative benefits in its gaminess, where it kind of gamifies things that are normally just left up to the players to kind of muddle through, like things like intrigue.
That's why we went for it, because anything can be a move, and so you can the move is like when you try to convince someone of something, right? Then you roll, and then like, okay, here's what you might say, and here's some ideas and whatever. So that's sort of the thought process.
I'm excited to see what becomes of that.
We've pretty much settled on some combat system for it, where it's all about momentum. You can die in like 2 hits, which is classic Lloyd Collins.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta have it be gritty, deadly.
So we're pretty pleased that we did some play tests and whatnot, so we're getting there. He's a stern taskmaster, which is what I need.
That's great.
It's like organizing a hangout with me twice a day, so I'm like, yes sir, I will obey, and
I will be there.
Cranked out.
I'm on Keel's Patreon. He has a Patreon at Run Right Play, and he pumps out content. He's making me look bad. He's he's really doing some awesome creating over there. So
boy's got a work ethic.
Yep, he really does.
Is also a literal factual lord.
Yes.
A literal
that somehow.
lord.
Yeah.
I bought him a lordship for his birthday.
That's right. So awesome.
An actual factual lord.
Yeah. God,
which is amazing. Endlessly funny, I think.
Yeah. What a great gift, too.
To be in the peerage.
Yeah. Oh, of course Keel's in the chat now too. We were just joking about how you're in every stream, buddy. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused about how this fits here. I think I might have put these on backwards.
Oh boy. Good thing you have a part taker apart.
Yeah. No kidding. Just for this occasion, I have the exact tool I need.
Very specific set of tools.
Yeah. It's funny because I put these pieces on, and then I went, oh no, they need to face the other way, and put them on the other way. And no, in fact, my first instinct was correct, and they needed to be the other way.
Interestingly, this piece for the knight is like a little chess piece that has some scroll work on it, right?
Yeah.
You would think this is the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
It's actually this way. Like,
oh.
So it's downward facing.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole community of people who have like painted their dude and then very carefully handwritten something on this piece and then realized it connects upside down. Yeah.
I would have to go to like some sort of like support group if that happened.
Yeah. Like it does look like it should go this way around. But
yeah, it's like I learned calligraphy. Oh. Wait.
Oh.
Oh no, I'm not. Wait.
No, wait.
Oh,
what
boy. Okay. So you go there. And you go here. Keel said, "Speaketh my name, and I am summoned."
Okay. This is okay. Which?
Uh-oh.
Oh God. There's a lot. I find when I'm painting miniatures, there's a lot of half sentences that I begin and don't finish. Which is the? How do I? What is?
How do I? Oh,
Oh, it's a. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like got it.
Got it.
It's like the universal experience.
Okay, that's pretty good. That was accidental, but it looks better this way. So I painted these two panels purple on the inside. I meant to do left and right.
Oh,
but I
yeah,
did them backwards, so now we've got purple inside, white outside. That looks pretty good.
That looks pretty cool. I like it.
Pretty pleased with that. Did I accidentally do the same with his legs?
Sometimes happy accidents. Isn't that what Bob Ross says?
Yep. No such thing as a mistake, only happy accidents. Oh my God. I did not do it on the big leg parts though. That's a disaster.
Oh no.
So the big leg parts are the same side.
Oh yeah.
So one of these guys is going to have to go to the operating table.
What's your preferred method for like strip and paint off stuff?
Isopropyl alcohol, 100%.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No question. It just works immediately and with pretty low mess. Other than you have to soak them like overnight in other things, but isopropyl alcohol works in like 6 minutes.
Just just works.
Yep.
It just works. Isopropyl.
That's my go-to. There's not enough paint. I can just spray over this, I think, because there's not that much paint on it.
Oh, right. Just paint it over.
Yeah. If it was caked on or it was an older model or whatever, I would pull it off, but I think
right.
it's probably not so bad.
That's yeah, because it's just acrylic-based paint, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing that I really oh Jesus. This model kit is 9 feet tall. It is way too big and heavy to be falling over on my desk while I'm doing delicate work. Please stay standing up, my friend.
The oh Jesus you just uttered was so good. Oh Jesus.
God, it's so funny. I really have to start watching my language around my daughter because I said earlier today I go, oh Jesus, and my daughter goes, oh Jesus. Like with the same intonation and everything.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Or I'm working out in the living room the other day and I go, God damn it. She goes, God damn it. I'm like, don't say that.
That's not a word for you.
I always say that is a big person word.
Right. Oh, he's got a little stupid hat. Check out his stupid little hat that he puts on.
Stupid hat with doofy little hat. He's gonna get made fun of at robot school if he wears that hat to school.
Nerd with a stupid hat.
My mom made me wear it, guys.
It's in case it rains. We just get a nice mask. I did not try the hairspray method, Jeremy, but I've heard that works.
The hairspray method.
You hairspray and then you paint over the top, and then you can like pull it away and it makes like crackle.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't heard about that.
Works for weathering. Is it you paint on top or you just do hairspray and then rub it or something? But either way, it like works for weathering, I think, as far as I know.
Cool.
I have yet to
for
attempt
distressing paint. I'll have to look that up. All right, so I got the tubing done around the torso. That was a bit of a pain in the butt. And now I get to do the head, which is really exciting. I love doing the heads on these kits because then all of a sudden it looks like a robot and not like a just like lump of plastic.
Bits.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the Zaku's have really cool heads. They have the mono eye, which is very like Cylon looking. And I'm a big old nerd, and I don't use the little stickers for the mono eye. No, I have actual little. I bought these.
Oh yes.
And they're different colored mono eyes with a little metal frame, and they look so nice because they actually look like a 3-dimensional little camera lens.
That little Gundam on the front of that is adorable.
Isn't that so cute?
So cute.
I love it so much.
Yep.
So I have a white one, a purple one, a pink one, and I have a bunch of. I use these a lot. These are little like crafting. They're like rhinestones, basically. Drag queens use these. I use them for mono eyes on Zaku's, but you could stone some tights with them too if you wanted to. I imagine.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. You undercoat with rust or bare metal, then spray hairspray, and then do the normal color, and you can use cotton swabs to pull the paint and show the metal underneath.
Oh, cool. That's really
super
neat.
Cool. Yeah.
Very, very cool. So I have to make a decision, too, with this guy. I have to decide if he's a grunt or a commander, because they include... This is the commander fin. So commander Zaku's get the cool little, like, fin on the top of their helmets. So... Man, that's gonna be tough to decide. I think he's gonna be a grunt, though. I don't know. I already got a Commander Zaku sitting on my shelf, so
something very appealing about your run-of-the-mill grunt, you know?
It's really true. Plus, if I don't make him a commander, I'll be a little bit more comfortable when it comes to the weathering stage to just like really make him look like he's had the shit beat out of him. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll be like, he's just a guy. Okay. Oh yeah, I need the tubing for the head too. What's this here?
I wonder, would it have been quicker to mask off everything in airbrush? But I don't think it would have been. I think it takes so long to mask off all the panels.
That's what I was just gonna say. You would save time in the painting stage, but the masking would be such a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Plus, you also risk the fact that even if one bit of the mask doesn't work, that you've ruined it, you know?
Oh, right. Yep, exactly.
Suddenly your white panel is a different color.
Right, yep.
You gotta start over.
Okay. So that's everything for the head. Oh, no, I need there's this little piece here which connects the hosing to the front of the head. And I think I'm going to go with a classic red mono eye. So I'm going to use one of these little rhinestones here.
One of the most ridiculous parts of this robot that has no genitals is that he has a little thing that goes over his crotch to protect his nutting.
So funny. That's like, look at this guy's. Look at his batch. He's got a whole situation down there.
It's like a whole deal. Yeah.
It's like a whole pronounced sort of. Yeah, it's like you couldn't leave it.
This guy has nothing. Like he's got nothing, and then you put this little shield on him, and it's got a little dangly shield. Like I don't get it. What's it for?
It's to protect the guy who works in the crotch. There's a little guy in there.
Yeah. So he gets, and it's got a little dangling shield dangling from the shield. Like,
funny.
So fucking Warhammer. Like, look at that.
Oh my god. If they had to add a little extension shield, like they were like, this robot's dick is too big. We had to add another shield.
Like,
oh my god. That's so funny.
It's why would you make a shield that dangles when people shoot bullets at you? It would just go whang, 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 the whole time.
Ping, pong,
Yeah.
ping. Yeah. God, that's so funny.
Like, I love this setting, but sometimes it's so dumb. You're just like, what
really
are
is,
they
yeah.
doing? You know?
It's like, it's dumb by design, but sometimes you're just like, okay, that might be a little too dumb.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're putting the hosing in, and then this little...
Jeremy says somebody's Gundam needs some truck nuts.
Yeah. Yep. So there's this little black part here is the inside of the helmet, and it rotates, so you can do the little like
oh yes,
with the eye. So I'm gonna put the eye there, and this is always a delicate operation. Gotta choose the right size too. Let me grab my tweezers. Okay. So let's see. Are you the right size, or are you too? You might be too big. Let's look. That is a little bit too big. I want one size smaller than that. Yep, I think that's perfect.
So this robot has one guy in it. This one has one guy in it.
Just one guy piloting it?
And they're linked also. I actually think watching Thing today, I cannot remember the name of this goddamn show. Neon Evangelion. That
Neon
one.
Genesis Evangelion.
Yes. That there's either that was a big, no, I think it's probably newer than Warhammer. I feel like there's definite influences there.
Oh
in
yeah,
the way
yeah.
That, like,
yeah,
it's
Evangelion
sort of like,
was, I think, mid-90s when it came out. Because I
okay,
remember it coming out, yeah.
There's like a lot of, in Warhammer, dudes stuck inside a thing.
Yes.
like in a machine.
Plugged into it, yeah.
Yeah, you know?
That is a big trope in Warhammer. It's something that I find really... I don't know, that idea has always really resonated with me, of like person becoming fused with a machine. That's a thing in StarCraft too, and like Spelljammer has like ships where the person becomes like permanently fused with the helm and becomes a part of the ship, and that's a really neat idea.
Yep. There's something about the Warhammer version where it's like you die. It's actually the same as the Dragoon in StarCraft.
Yeah.
Where like you die, but you're not done fighting, so they put you in a machine so you can keep killing enemies, you know?
God, it's so funny. It's so like capitalist, where it's like, you're not done working yet.
We haven't finished
Get back
using
here. You. Yeah. My mom just messaged and asked what I'm doing. I mean, do I tell her I'm watching two dudes bedazzling and talking about robot wangs? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You tell her the truth.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of bedazzle, I lost my rhinestone. There it is. Look at how small this is.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a tiny little backing on this that I have to remove to make it sticky. So I'll see you guys in 3 hours. Here's tweezers, X-Acto, and try not to stab myself.
Goliath Online. Yeah, it's the one that's a great one. The one that always gets me is I have returned.
I have returned. Those guys are always just like so chill.
So good. Yep.
Yeah.
My life for hire. Like so iconic, those lines.
God, it's so good. I hear it in my dreams.
Yeah.
I played so much of that freaking game.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
I can hear the Master Sergeant from the tank so clearly.
Yeah.
Ready to roll out!
Ready to roll out! I loved, one of my favorite things as a kid was playing Warcraft, and if you clicked on some of the units enough,
I did that too.
Would get funny lines.
Yep, I would spend hours just clicking dudes and listening to the stupid lines.
Yep. I remember in Warcraft 2, in Warcraft 2 they had boats, you remember that? They had like sea units. And if you clicked on one of the orc ships enough, the orc would start complaining about you rocking the ship and making him seasick, and then eventually he would actually throw up if you clicked on it enough. It was so funny. They had like a real life like an orc going and like they had like the sound effect of like vomit hitting the deck of a ship. Yep. Yeah. It was like they didn't have to do that, but they did, and I appreciate it. Okay. So I think I'm gonna actually go ahead and come in here with some cement.
I'm pleased with this color scheme, though. I think the purple and white will look suitably rad when it's done.
The purple and white is real nice looking.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
So you mentioned that there was going to be, in this army with this guy, there's going to be 3 guys. Yes. What are the other guys in the army? So
this is a Castellan, which is the biggest of the Roys in terms of his firepower. So he has the most guns and the biggest guns. But he has no close combat weapon. He's got like 2 big ass guns and a load of little guns, but no close combat weapon. So that's actually a job for the people who are not in charge, because in Warhammer, all of the bosses use swords and axes, even when they're in giant robots. So the leader of this would be the Knight Baron, and he will have a Reaper chainsword, which is like a chainsword the size of this plasma cannon.
Baby.
So that'll be him. He'll have that and a Thunderstrike Gauntlet, which is a massive power fist.
Yes.
Which is the most Warhammer. Like, you build this machine, this god machine.
Yeah.
And you don't give it any guns. You don't give it any guns.
It gets a freaking chainsaw and a fist that's really good at punching stuff.
It's so Warhammer. It's like this meme of like the guy in the tank with the sword, and he's like, "Drive closer! I want to hit them with my sword." It's just
drive closer. I want to hit them with my sword.
Comical,
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah.
Like, at least in Dune, there's a reason why melee combat is so prevalent.
Yes.
In Warhammer, there isn't.
No.
There's no reason
there's
why.
no reason. God, it's so true. Yeah, in Dune, they're like, well,
if you shoot a las gun at this thing, it's a nuke.
It's gonna blow up. Yeah, so don't do that.
Right, so we have to use knives. Okay, got it. Super clear, crystal clear, excellent. Warhammer.
Makes sense.
This man is wearing cement and steel.
We
should use a knife.
He's also 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
Go up and stab him.
Yep.
There's my red there.
You gotta love it.
It's so funny. And I love it so much.
Yeah. Purple and white is what I chose for my Greco-Roman Empire colors too. Yeah, classic. Dark copper. That's what I'm trying to do with this guy. I've got like a dark gold. It's not showing as dark gold here, but it is actually pretty burnished. Come on, activate.
Oh yeah, that's great looking.
So it's pretty dark, and as I say, I'm going to cover the whole thing with brown oil paint and then pull it away, so it'll look ancient in bits, I think, in the end.
Yeah, that's great.
So I think 3 of these knights will be approximately, if I kit them out, nearly 2,000 points.
Wow.
In Warhammer.
Yeah.
And that would be like 6 squads of Space Marines and a tank and all these HQ choices or whatever.
Right.
So they're very expensive point wise, but they do have like 30 wounds compared to like the 1 of your average guy.
Right. So would you ever do like could you do like one of those guys and then like a bunch of Space Marines?
You could, yeah. The Space Marines lose their chapter tactics or chapter doctrine if they don't, if they're not all Space Marines.
Yeah.
But there's an army called Adeptus Mechanicus. Who
I love me some Adeptus Mechanicus.
Definitely what I need is more Warhammer, so I'm probably going to get some of those to help. Because these guys, so in the game of Warhammer, it's not really about killing the baddies. It's about like getting the points, and like you're winning through acquiring points as opposed to killing baddies.
Yep.
So these guys suck at that because there's only three models in your army, so they can't be everywhere at once. You know,
that makes sense. Yeah, because most of the time you're it's not team deathmatch. It's like, you're trying to like take an objective and hold a point. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
And so troops have a thing called objective secured, which is if they're on a point, you have to have more than troops that are already there to take it from them.
Okay.
So these guys just can't do that unless they kill everything, which is, they're good at that, but so you want to get a bunch of like little shitty robot boys to like run over there and stand at the point and be like, we got it, sir, go get them.
Right. And then, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Cool.
And then obliterate them with the big guns.
Yes. I saw someone just posted a question on the mission manual Kickstart about Roll20 support, which is we'd actually considered doing that as a stretch goal at one point, about like paying somebody to set up Mecha Hack and Roll20 and like really doing it right, doing like a nice character sheet and like auto calculating stuff, but time kind of got away from me, and I kind of lost track of time and wasn't able to contact anybody about it. But it's definitely something that we're interested in doing, and honestly looking more into. Is just like VTT for support for some of our games, because especially if things continue the way they're going, like people are gaming online a lot more. That's the way forward. So, yeah.
I think for me, the thing with Mecha Hack is it's mechanically so simple that there wouldn't be a huge amount of, like, calculations to be done.
Exactly.
On a sheet,
yeah.
It'd be nice to have it themed or whatever.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Is like I would just want like a nice like. Because we have like the tokens and stuff that you can get that Hank made for us, which is great because they work really well on Roll20. But I think people want like a nice character sheet and being able to roll and stuff, so which makes sense. I like Roll20 for like a game like Iron Sworn. Roll20 is great because there's a lot you have to keep track of, and Roll20 like automates so much of it, which especially if you're playing solo is really, really nice. But okay. Well, that took a bit, but I finally got that
all right
mono eye on there. So now that fits into the head. And if you can do that, it looks so much cooler than this little sticker that they give you to do it.
Yeah, what's the big difference?
The sticker's fine, but like if it actually looks like a little camera lens eye in there, like it makes a huge difference. Okay, missing a piece. There it is. There we go.
This gotta go this way here, and then this one has to switch sides, so this becomes purple. Okay.
Come on, focus. Come on. It's just not. I want you to focus. I want you to do it. It's just never. There.
Hey,
it did it for a second.
Do it. Do it.
Here, let's try this. Piece of paper behind it.
Hey, here we go.
That did it. Now you can't see it. It's too dark.
Yep.
God. Webcams are like, oh, you want it this way? This way? There.
You want me to... There we go. Okay. That looks sick.
Well, for a second, you could see it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, I got to glue that little front part down. That just fell off. Oh, it's gone forever. That just fell off my desk.
Yep.
Oh, that is part of the carpet now.
Yep. It's gone.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, nice.
Hallelujah.
Not sacrificed to the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'm making a Space Marine and like I drop a bit and I'm like, well, I guess he didn't need that gun.
Yeah. Well, I just made my decision for me. Great.
Yep. Fair enough.
All right. A little bit of plastic cement here will help adhere it. Yep, that is pretty dope looking. Interesting. The head is a different green than the rest of the kit. It's interesting. All right, so go ahead and put the head on without breaking it. There we go.
Nice.
Oh.
I like that face design.
Yeah, it's pretty. This is like the iconic bad guy of like the Gundam series. This is like their stormtrooper essentially. Yeah. So I love him. The design is so neat. Very menacing.
Yep. Baddies wear gas masks. That's just
a
scientific fact.
Yep. Is that where we the baddies? Okay. I'm actually going to glue these Vernier thrusters down as well because they popped off a couple times from their little parts here. So pop those out. I'm going to glue them separately because I don't want them to stick together and not be able to articulate anymore. Matt the hand model, yeah, hardly.
Yeah, the camera seems to know what you wanted to focus on and then chooses the other thing.
Yeah, it's like this, you're like, yes, perfect, great, here's the other thing.
Yeah, it's like, you want me to focus on the paper behind the thing? Yeah, I got it. Got it. You want me to look at your nails?
I'm not Gus Van Sant. I would like you to just focus on the thing that I'm pointing at. Okay, let those dry a little bit. Seth, that's great, man. I'm glad that you're able to be more actively online.
Nice. Welcome back.
There we go. All right, starting to look like a robot.
It's getting there.
My robot son. I'm so proud. Even though he is a bad guy.
Oh, it's just a phase.
He's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
He's just listening to too much of the Marilyn Manson.
There you go.
Jason Smith has never read Dune. It's Dune is my favorite book, but if someone's like, I couldn't get into it, I'm always like, I get that. Like, it's very dense and it takes a little while to get going, and I will say that once it does get going, it kind of doesn't stop going, but and the sequels too are they can be a little hit and miss for me, for sure.
I didn't get into those. I just know that there's one that has a cover of a fucking worm man.
Listen.
I'm like, I don't want to get into that.
I need you to believe me when I say that is the best one, though. That's the best sequel. God Emperor of Dune. No spoilers, but dude, God Emperor of Dune essentially opens with 1,000 years later. He's a worm now, and you're like, what the?
What the fuck happened?
Like, I feel like Brian Herbert or Frank Herbert was getting a little older. He was doing a lot more mushrooms, and he was just like, you know what?
He's a worm.
He's a worm now, and the book is set 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
But
1,000 years is such a comically long amount of time.
Yeah. It really
try and
is.
Keep some continuity going, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what he was like, is because he was like, okay, the first two Dune sequels involve Paul and his son and his family and everything, and I think that Frank Herbert was like, I want to tell a different story now. I want to be able to move the universe in a different direction, and so he was just like, okay, it's 1,000 years. There's 1,000-year time jump between book 3 and 4.
Yeah. 1,000 years, the dust from our bones will be gone. little quoting Troy, 2004 masterpiece.
Lloyd's favorite movie of all time.
Favorite movie.
That movie is so cheesy but so enjoyable.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
I love it. I just love it. Like, it's so bad, but I love it.
That's what I really like, when people have a bad movie that they like unabashedly really enjoy, because it says to me, okay, this person has like a good sense of like, I don't know, just like enjoying things for what they are and not necessarily getting hung up on the fact that it's like quote unquote bad. You know what I mean?
I also think it's like good to be able to like a thing and not have to defend its quality, you know?
Yeah, where you're just like, yeah, it's bad, I know.
Yeah, it's shit. Come
over and watch it with me.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I really like it.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chronicles of Riddick. It's a terrible movie. Let's come over. Let's watch it. I got it on Blu-ray. Vin Diesel's finest hour.
But there's a difference too between liking a film because it's bad or liking a film that is bad, you know?
Yes.
Like,
oh, totally.
Because there's like that best of the worst show on YouTube as well, where they like watch things that are definitely on purpose, or not on purpose, but they watch them because they're bad, and that's the funny part.
Right.
Like Troy is like a movie that I know is not very good, but I adore, you know? Like,
exactly.
When ironically think it's very good.
Exactly. You know? It's not, it's so bad it's good. It's bad, and also I like it.
Also great. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like everyone needs at least one of those movies in their life that they can turn to.
Question.
I don't know. I don't know. Like Air Force One is definitely up there for me. Like where I'm like, I know it's not a very good movie, but like I love Air Force One.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Harrison Ford's the president. He's fighting Gary Oldman on Air Force One. Sure, sign me up.
I want my family back.
I want my family back. Get off my plane. Spoiler
That's a
alert.
really good Harrison Ford.
Thank you. You know what's funny is I cannot do a Harrison Ford voice doing lines that Harrison Ford has not said. I can only replicate what has come before. Right. I'm like, what's that creature in D&D, the Raven creature?
Oh, a Kenku.
Yeah, Kenku. I'm a Harrison Ford Kenku. I cannot create. I can only replicate what I have heard before. My favorite Harrison Ford line is actually one from The Force Awakens, though, when he says, "This is not how I thought this day was gonna go."
Yep.
You're like, I relate so much to Harrison Ford in that moment.
Most days.
Yeah.
And not always in a negative sense. Sometimes I'm like, this is not how I thought this day was gonna go.
Yeah. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Kingdom of Heaven has a great director's cut. That director's cut is legitimately a good movie.
Yeah.
God, David Thewlis in that movie is the hospitaler.
Underrated.
Oh, I love David Thewlis. Anytime David Thewlis shows up in a movie, I'm like, oh shit, it's my boy.
I remember him from fucking Dragonheart back in the day.
Dragonheart. He's the villain in Dragonheart.
Yeah. Yep, I remember that shit real clearly. And
he's such an impression on me. Sniveling villain in that movie. So good. He's absolutely a bright spot in a movie that is terrible.
Yeah.
If you've watched that movie recently, the CG looks like PlayStation 1 graphics. It is so bad. The dragon doesn't even cast a shadow. It's awful.
It's been years. I remember seeing that in the cinema as a child and coming out of it thinking, I am going to be a dragon when I grow up.
Yes, I'm gonna grow up and be a dragon.
That's it.
Dennis Quaid will hunt me.
Yep. That's my destiny.
Yep. Look to the stars, Bowen.
Oh my god, I hate Sean Connery so much.
Yeah.
Just the fucking worst.
Look to the stars, Bowen. But David Thewlis in that movie.
Great. Yep.
Great.
So here he is all gunned up, right?
Look at him. Oh, he is gunned up and ready to go.
This swivelly gun and this swivelly gun. Then a missile rack up here. Then this is a plasma destructor, and this is a volcano lance. And then he's
got barrels under his head too.
Yeah, this fucking thing.
Oh my god.
Rocking the gun show.
Yeah. They're like, hey, do you have any guns? And he's like, hang on, yes, I have a lot of guns.
He like gets to the hall of Theoden and has to like keep taking guns out of different places.
I told you to take the night magma lance.
Yeah. He's like crushing the hall as he walks in.
You have no power here. Actually, we need to go. This is a big robot.
Oh, shit.
Adding robots into parts of Lord of the Rings where they don't exist is my new thing.
Oh, man. Yep.
The best bad movie of all time is Last Dragon, says Jason Smith. Shonuff and Bruce Lee. I have never seen Last Dragon.
I haven't seen that either.
All right, I'm making this boy's skirts now. He's got skirts.
I'm such a fan of like a tassel skirt on a warrior.
Yep.
It's just a good look.
It is. It really holds up, and it totally evokes like the knight samurai kind of trope that, you know, all sort of Gundam designs are going for.
The Space Marines that I collect are the Blood Angels, and it's the only reason is because they have the most ridiculously gothic design of all of the Space Marines.
Oh yeah.
It's all like angels and like masks and like
it's really true.
Everything is wings. Like it's so over the top, and
they are the edgy goth kids of an edgy goth setting.
Yeah.
I
just think if you're gonna go for Warhammer, like go all in on Warhammer.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Pick the stupidest factions. You know.
Just go for it. That's surprising to me. I would have pegged you as a Space Wolves boy if I was putting money on it. But that is me stereotyping.
Yeah. I'm more than just Vikings, man. When I was a kid, I had Space Wolves, but actually, I really find them quite cringy now when I look at the design.
Yeah.
Like they all have like fur pelts, and everything is called a wolf or something.
Yeah.
We've got Wolf Guard and Wolf Lords and Wolf Priests, and it's like there are other words.
Yeah, like you guys could have like hung your hat on something other than wolves if you wanted to. Yeah, it's very true. The thing I do like about the Space Wolves, and also the thing that I don't really like about the Space Wolves, actually, now that I think about it, is the fact that they're like their own sort of thing, where it's like, oh, we're like Space Marines but different. We like have our own, because they had like their Primarch was. What, it was Fenris, right? Was that his name?
Logan Grimnar.
Oh,
no, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Lehman Russ is the Primarch.
Oh, okay. But they have they follow the doctrine of their Primarch or whatever.
Yes,
rather than
they are not Codex compliant.
Yes,
is the phraseology.
So they don't get funding from.
They don't get funding. Emperor. Yeah. Yep. So Blood Angels are also not Codex compliant, and neither are Dark Angels. Those are the three super special ones, and all the others are Space Marines with different colors and some extra units.
Right.
But yeah, they're almost a different army.
Yeah, that's kind of the sense that I've gotten from them too. Yeah. I did enjoy the Space Wolves. You remember in Dawn of War, you could do the different color schemes. You could go in the army painter and make your own color schemes and stuff. I really liked the Space Wolves color scheme. I liked the blue
it's a good
and the
scheme,
yellow.
No question. Yep. I would always make this like hideous like neon green and hot pink color scheme for like the most offensive looking troops that you could manage.
Man, I loved playing around in that army painter and just coming up with different.
So good. Yeah.
One time I came up with this. I made white Necrons, and oh man, they look so sick. They look like legit skeletons walking across the field.
Yep.
All right, so I've got the waist done now on this guy. Let's see if we can get an actual. Hey, that actually focused very nicely.
He looks great.
Yeah. So there's all these little details in here, and I'll hit that with the little panel wash when I'm done, and it'll just make the little shadows and all those recesses, and it's gonna look real slick.
Yep.
Oh shit! I lost track of time. We've been going for almost 2 hours.
Oh dang. Yeah.
I feel like this might be a good place for me to stop. Actually, right here. But the awesome thing is, normally after I'm done working on Gundam, I have to clean all this up because I have to come and sit at my desk and work. I'm not working tomorrow though because it's Thanksgiving, so I'm just gonna leave
baby.
all this sitting right here. I'm probably gonna work
Nice.
on it more tomorrow. So, but yeah, this has been great, Lloyd. Thank you for joining me, man. This has been awesome.
It was so much fun.
Definitely check out. I linked Lloyd's channel down in the description. So I mean, if you're hanging out with us in the chat, you're probably already subscribed to both of us. But if for whatever reason you have not already, Lloyd runs a ton of games over there and does a lot of cool live chats and all kinds of stuff. So definitely go subscribe. And the link to the Mecha Hack Mission Manual Kickstarter is down there as well. So Lloyd, anything you want to say, plug, or whinge about here before we call it?
No, I think I'm good to go. Thanks for having me. Let's do this again. I was saying, like, if there's one other person unproductive, I got so much painting done. Like,
oh, dude, yeah. I mean, I got.
so much.
This would have taken me like hours to complete if I was just sitting there like watching a show or something while I was doing it. But for some reason, just the zen of sitting here chatting with somebody has helped me complete it. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Productivity boost.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks everyone for watching. If you're in the States, I hope you have a good holiday weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.